here. Give it up. She can hear you. She can see you. Next is Stevon. So let me tell you, I said, I want to make sure I get your name right. Stevon said, it's Stevon, not off. I said, I got it. Stevon Lewis. It works. He's a psychotherapist, speaker, author, and host of the podcast, How to Talk to High Achievers About Anything. Stevon is a licensed, like I said, licensed psychotherapist. He, in his private practice, specializes in working with professionals who struggle with imposter syndrome. How many of y'all struggle with that? Oh, it's a lot because only a couple hands went. We look forward to getting into this conversation. I struggle with it. I didn't raise my hand because I got all this stuff in my hand. There's no excuse for y'all. But we just are not conditioned to even see the signs of, oh, someone might be dealing with functional depression, or someone might be dealing with high levels of anxiety, or, you know, whatever it is. What are some of the things that you can tell us to look out for? I imagine as you talk about overachievers, that there may be a few that are in the medical profession. So I'd like to know, you know, what you would give to this audience, to the layperson, as well as to some medical professionals that might want to learn something from you.
For sure. The hard thing is that for high achievers and, you know, on the panel, it's really good at hiding it. Like experts in, you know, what you do for a living, but also in hiding your feelings and your emotions. And so I think, you know, part of what I've learned is that there is a level of shame around kind of rest, or that we say self-care, we don't want to be selfish, but it kind of has to be, right? And I don't think that oftentimes we embrace that piece. And so, like, when I'm working with someone, I am absolutely kind of forcing them to become more aware of their emotions and their feelings, and owning it, and like kind of putting the humanity back in. Yes, you should not be okay right now, and that's appropriate, right? You did 8 hours. You also had to do a Zoom after that. You woke up early to get there. You're staying up late, didn't make it home to 1:30, and you're like, yeah, I should be fine so I can show up for everybody else. And I'm like, houseway, like, how should you be able to do that? Because you just did all of this other stuff. And I think that, like, we put, as helpers, we put ourselves second, and it's hard for us to kind of, one, allow others to help it, because it's not like I don't want to say we take on the superhero kind of the mantle, but there's a point of where we are required to show up for others. Like, that's part of our profession. But also, like, how do we let others show up for us, and how do we show up for ourselves? And I think that's kind of the disconnect. And so we're really good at hiding it. But I would say for, like, the layperson, or, you know, friends of you know, folks like you guys, is to really kind of just, you know, ask and check, keep checking. I know that it may sound like a broken record, and we always say check on our strong friend, but just, you know, reach out. How are you doing? How's it going? You know, maybe just going to have coffee or have lunch will be helpful. You know, I have friends that I'm close to that are really good at masking it. As Black men, we are very, very good at masking their emotions. So something I might do is just we go to lunch. And I don't know if they're really absolutely going on with something, or they're struggling with something, but what we'll do is, I know that in my interaction with them, we got something out of that. And so it's just, how do you kind of show up and give to, when we talk about that community, how do we show up and give to those that are in our lives that we know are doing amazing things in life?
Stevon, I'm going to have you tell us some tips that we should take with us that we would get if we were your patients, but you're going to give us some freebies because reparations, Black History Month, and then we'll be done.
If you're someone and you're worried about another person, kind of their well-being and their health, I think oftentimes we are afraid to ask because we aren't equipped to deal with whatever information we get. I say put the fear aside. It's better to know, and then figure out the journey along the way with the individual. So I try to encourage people to ask the question a minimum of 3 times. How are you doing? People will, again, high achievers, will, you know, brush off the first 2. That third one will hit them. And they will have to then say, all right, you know, here's what it is. I gotta, you know, here's what's going on. Yeah, right. It's reluctantly, but to really open up and become vulnerable. And so I think, like, you know, that's one simple thing you can do if you're worried or want to check in on somebody. What I like to challenge for the individuals who are the heroes or the helpers that might need help and have a difficult time letting people in is to ask yourself, I call it othering, but if you saw a friend doing all the things you do at the level you're doing it, what would you tell them? I know, that starts to hit home. That's what happens, right? And you would be telling them, have a seat, you deserve the rest, all this stuff. Say the same to yourself. Why aren't you deserving of the same thing you would kind of give as advice to another person? So I try to hold people accountable in that way. Like, you have the tools, you have it all. So yeah, take care of you too. It's okay. You deserve it.